What's up, guys? Rick here with my top 5 fades for this week's Farmers Insurance Open. These are golfers that I'm not as excited about rostering or betting or anything like that, and I will either be completely off of or underweight on for this week. Hopefully it's some guys that I can at least provide a bit more insight into, and you can make the decision for yourself. A couple of live chats on Wednesday on the Rick Run Good YouTube channel. Join me for both of those. Let's jump into this week's fades. If you've been paying attention this week, you know that Cameron Davis is on my fades list, and that pains me to say. I'm a huge Cam Davis fan. I think everybody who's been following knows that. I think the sky's the limit. Lots of raw talent. Love the kid, but not now. You know, he's coming off of a very successful week at the American Express where he was fairly popular, finished third, contended. You know, he touched the lead for a bit there on Sunday, and I think he's just a much more public play. And I look at how he did it. You know, he gained almost 5.5 strokes putting in just the 3 measured rounds at the American Express. It was the 4th best in the field in strokes gained putting. He holed out for eagle from the fairway, which I know that is both skill and luck. It takes a really good shot to drop, but it also takes a bit of luck. I mean, there's just things that he's probably not going to do again. It probably shouldn't surprise you that his putting week last week was the 2nd best putting week of his career, and it was only 3 rounds, right? His best putting performance, he gained nearly 6.5 at the Shriners in 2018. That's 4 measured rounds. He does almost 5.5 in 3 measured rounds. So that is something that is very unlikely to happen again, and I think he's just catching a lot of steam. So I will be back on Cam Davis in the future. I'll be happy about it, but it will not be this week. Next up is Marc Leishman, and for me, this is kind of an easy one. I can see it backfiring because, you know, he's trending in the right direction, right? He plays okay at the Tournament of Champions, finishes about middle of the pack or so, which after his 2020, that's a big win. And then he plays really well at the Sony, finishes 4th. That's a place he's had a lot of success, and he comes to Torrey Pines, where he's also had a lot of success and is your defending champion. But you know how this works. You end up paying a premium for the defending champion status. The way that Leishman even won last year is something that is very unlikely to happen again. The guy was missing fairways all over the place. He was rolling in every single putt. He gained 8 strokes putting last week at the Farmers Insurance Open. Again, that's only 3 measured rounds. It's the 3rd best putting performance of his career, and the other 2 are obviously 4 measured round events. So unlikely that he's going to be able to follow that up. Combine it with the 2020 run that he's had, which was devastatingly bad. I'm not paying the price for the name. I'm not paying the price for the title, and Marc Leishman will not be on my cards in any significant manner. Another guy that I really love that I'm worried about is Matthew Wolff, and I understand he has the weapon in the bag, the driver, and that's the one thing that I think can really get you in great shape around Torrey Pines, but I'm a bit concerned about the driver. I got to be honest with you. You go back to the end of 2020, his last 4 events, so he lost a ton of strokes off the tee at the CJ Cup, 4 of them. He lost 3.5 at the Zozo Championship. I don't know what he did at the Masters because we don't have strokes gain data for that, but he missed the cut. And then even last week at the American Express, he gained 0.15 over 3 rounds. Almost a dead even golfer. Now, the problem is, if he's going to do that, the rest of his game is going to be under a lot of stress. It hasn't been good. His around the green game has been pathetic in the last handful of measured events. And Torrey Pines is going to give you a lot of awkward spots. So if you're not playing from the fairway, you are in big trouble. And I'm worried that if Matthew Wolff continues this trend, he's going to be in big trouble. I'm worried about that. So I think he'll figure it out at some point. I think he'll get back to gaining a ton of strokes off the tee. But this is concerning enough for me this week to pump the brakes on Matthew Wolff. Rickie Fowler is next, and a couple Oklahoma State Cowboys in a row here. The thing with Rickie, and Rickie's been in this fades video a lot over the last year, so I don't want to focus on Rickie in particular. He's probably not going to make a lot of my lineups. I know he played well last week, especially on Friday, and then he played well enough over the weekend to notch a top 25, I believe. But guys like Rickie, the point of him being in this video is to remind everyone that the course history at Torrey Pines is very strong. It is year over year one of the strongest, most consistent events that we have. Guys that play well here every year. Guys that don't every year. So it's very, very strong. Rarely do you kind of see the switch get flipped, for lack of a better term. And for Rickie, it's been poor. It's been really poor. Last 7 trips, he's missed the cut 5 times, and the other 2 were a T66 and a T61. Now, there's another golfer with similar form that I'm going to talk about in just a second, but it really is, weeks like this more than most, I'm willing to consider course history. Rickie's on the wrong side of it. He had one good week last week. I hope he continues to figure it out in 2021, but I'm not willing to jump back on that ship just yet. And then finally, the foreshadowing, Xander Schauffele. And this is terrifying to fade Xander. I think he's in the midst of like 11 consecutive top 25 finishes. The guy's been unbelievable all over the place. He won the net version, or I guess the gross version, of the Tour Championship. He's been phenomenal, but there's something about Torrey Pines, a course that he has said himself he's played over 100 times. Remember, he went to Torrey Pines High School. He's from La Jolla. He went to San Diego State, right? He's a local kid. He knows this course better than anybody, but the success or lack thereof that he has had in the 5 times that he's played this event, it's jarring. He had a T25 in 2019. The other 4 times he's played this event, he's missed the cut in each one. And if you guys have followed this along, I am much more of a recent form guy than I am a course history guy, but the numbers are very clear about this. Course history at Torrey Pines matters. And if it matters, and if I want to abide by the numbers and the math and the data, I have to kind of stay away from Xander this week. And of course, there's going to be a number for everybody, right? I'll be interested to see on Wednesday for the live chat what his projected ownership is. And if it's single digits, hey, all bets are off. He might wind up in a single entry lineup for me, but I have real concerns. And the point being, course history matters. I've said it for Rickie. I've said it for Xander. I have to abide by it because we only really get it this strong. It's like Augusta National, Pebble Beach is pretty strong, and then Torrey Pines. I mean, those are the strongest correlators of success year over year. So I'm going to follow it. I'm terrified. I'm terrified to fade Xander, but here we are. All right, guys, that'll do it. My top 5 fades for this week's Farmers Insurance Open. I'm sure you do not agree with me, so let me know which one I'm wrong on or who you would have included. Tweet me at RickRunGood or leave a comment below. Best of luck this week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.